5:17, so I will call the Law and Ordinance Committee meeting to order. I'll move to excuse Councilperson Grine.
Second.
So moved. All other committee members are present. For the meeting minutes, since Councilperson Baker was absent at the last committee meeting and Councilperson Grine is absent tonight, I will move to wait until our next committee meeting to approve the minutes for our February 3rd committee meeting.
I second.
So moved.
So moved.
So under open issues, we still haven't appointed a chair yet. We were unable to appoint a chair, or we decided not to appoint a chair at our first meeting due to your absence, not having a full committee. Councilperson Grine has expressed the willingness to serve as chair or to support whichever direction the committee chooses. I am also interested in serving as chair. Therefore, I propose we defer any nominations until all members are present and keep this open for a full committee decision.
Yes.
All right. And then under new business, I have 2 items under new business. The first is the Elmhurst Drive that you brought to this committee's attention. It's a no parking request. So a resident has reported difficulty exiting their driveway due to neighbors parking on the street and requested that the street be considered for no parking signage. Preliminary review by Safety Services indicates that on-street parking is not currently observed as a problem, but additional monitoring will continue now that it has been brought to their attention to provide our committee with a recommendation for consideration. I also believe it is necessary to allow more time for further investigation before moving forward with any legislation to amend the traffic control map. Therefore, I move to keep this item open so we can plan to vote on it at our next meeting.
Agree.
So moved.
We'll keep an eye on it and see how it's going. And I'll call the lady and talk to her, and she has certain times. Maybe it was only during a party time, that was it. So we'll see.
Or the holidays, or I know like
There's no curbs on that street, so it's kind of hard. People parking there.
it's hard to stop people from parking there
Yeah,
because there's no
right.
curbs.
I mean, we definitely need to look at that. And if we look at that one, we have to do the one behind on the next one over to the west.
I almost
So-
think that if there was curbs, it would make it even tighter and people
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to park
Right.
because it is a narrow street.
Yep.
And I know too, like traffic parking ebbs and flows, and maybe that was just a temporary issue that will be resolved now. But I'm not certain that we want to move forward just due to the inconvenience of having to be extra careful pulling in and out. And then the second item we have under new business is review of proposed ordinance portable storage containers. So the committee has been asked to review this ordinance, which is scheduled for the first reading tonight. Therefore, I move to keep the item open to allow us time to review, engage in further discussion after a more in-depth look at the legislation and decide on any recommended amendments. However, we need to keep in mind that any amendments that we would recommend must be finalized at our next committee meeting for consideration because voting will need to occur during the council meeting that same evening when the ordinance will have its 3rd reading unless it's tabled. So plan to do a deep dive on that legislation and then come back with any suggestions, if any. And we'll keep that open.
I second it. Yep.
Are there any comments from the public?
I think it falls in law and order. I just have a question. It's an ordinance because I talked to zoning and we have a vacant property registration in place. However, how it applies to all, in particular landlords, needs to be looked at. Because when I was speaking to the zoning, they had some questions. So did the mayor, just verified, and so that needs looked into.
Okay, thanks, Deb. So I will go ahead and add that to open issues for us to discuss at the next committee meeting. Are there any other comments from the public? I do not have any miscellaneous business. Do you?
No, I do not.
Then we will plan to meet again on Tuesday, March 17th at 5:15 here in council chambers. And we will adjourn at 5:25.
Second,
So moved.
so moved.